Life has a way of presenting challenges that test our patience, resilience, and mindset. Yet, many individuals fall into a destructive habit, complaining. Complaining often feels like an easy release, a way to momentarily ease the frustration of life's difficulties. But in reality, it traps people in a cycle of negativity. By constantly vocalizing what's wrong, individuals unintentionally cement their problems as an integral part of their identity. This habit reinforces a victim mentality, convincing them that their circumstances are insurmountable and that they are powerless to change their reality. What's worse, complaining is addictive. Each complaint triggers a mental loop of dissatisfaction, making it harder to see the silver lining or potential solutions. Over time, this mindset doesn't just hold people back, it becomes the invisible chain anchoring them to mediocrity. A life dominated by complaints leads to stagnation, as energy that could be directed toward improvement is wasted on lamenting the situation. To truly succeed, the first step is recognizing that complaining is a choice, and choosing to stop. The act of complaining might seem harmless, but its effects run deep. When we complain, we are training our brains to focus on problems rather than solutions. The mind has a unique way of amplifying whatever we concentrate on, a principle known as the law of attraction. By fixating on difficulties, we inadvertently invite more negativity into our lives. Complaining, therefore, becomes a form of self-sabotage. It drains our energy, blinds us to opportunities, and traps us in a mindset of scarcity and limitation. Moreover, the habit of complaining influences our relationships and environments. People who frequently complain often alienate those around them, fostering an atmosphere of pessimism that repels potential allies and collaborators. Successful individuals understand that complaining doesn't solve problems, action does. To break free from this self-sabotaging cycle, one must recognize that every complaint is an opportunity to take responsibility and pivot toward a solution. Success begins where complaints end. Perspective shapes reality. Winners have a unique ability to redirect their focus, ensuring that their energy flows toward solutions rather than problems. They recognize the hard truth: energy flows where attention goes. If you spend your time obsessing over obstacles, you magnify their presence and power in your life. On the other hand, focusing on potential solutions transforms challenges into stepping stones for growth. This shift in perspective doesn't just improve outcomes, it builds mental resilience. The ability to see opportunities in adversity is what separates successful people from those who remain stuck. Developing this mindset requires intentional effort. It's about retraining your mind to ask empowering questions, such as, "What can I learn from this?" or "How can I turn this situation around?" By shifting your focus, you take control of your narrative and begin crafting a story of triumph rather than defeat. Transformation begins when complaints are replaced with deliberate action. Complaining might offer temporary relief, but action provides tangible results. Every moment spent complaining is a moment wasted, a moment that could have been used to take a step forward. Successful individuals don't dwell on setbacks, they seek out solutions and execute them with unwavering determination. They understand that progress isn't always about grand gestures, but consistent, small actions that compound over time. Whether it's learning a new skill, seeking mentorship, or simply refusing to give up, action is the antidote to stagnation. Moreover, action rewires the brain, creating new neural pathways that reinforce a proactive and positive mindset. Each step taken toward a goal builds momentum, turning ambition into achievement. To adopt this approach, start by identifying one area in your life where complaints dominate. Instead of lamenting the issue, list 3 actions you can take to improve it. Then, commit to executing those steps without hesitation. Progress begins with movement. Sympathy may provide comfort, but it's not a solution. Many people seek validation and emotional support through their complaints, hoping for a savior to rescue them. Yet, the truth is that no one is coming to save you. Your success and happiness are your responsibility. The world rewards those who take ownership of their circumstances, not those who rely on excuses or external validation. While it's human to seek understanding and connection, dwelling in a state of victimhood only perpetuates feelings of helplessness. Instead of seeking sympathy, strive for self-reliance. Embrace the belief that you have the power to change your situation, no matter how challenging it may seem. When you take full responsibility for your life, you reclaim your agency. This shift isn't about denying your struggles, but about refusing to let them define you. It's about finding strength in adversity and using it as fuel for growth. The future is shaped not by what happens to you but by how you respond. Every choice you make, every action you take, contributes to the life you are building. If you want a different future, you must adopt a different mindset today. Stop waiting for ideal conditions or permission to pursue your dreams. There will never be a perfect moment to start, the only moment you have is now. Success requires courage, persistence, and a willingness to act despite uncertainty. It demands that you silence the voice of doubt and replace it with unwavering determination. Your journey won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Each step you take toward your goals brings you closer to the life you envision. So, make a decision today, stop complaining, start acting, and embrace the power of your choices. Your future is waiting, it's time to create it. Most people live their lives trapped in a cycle of complaining, endlessly vocalizing their problems while waiting for external salvation. This habit reinforces a victim mentality where individuals believe their circumstances are beyond their control. The hard truth is that no one is coming to save you. Your problems don't define you, but your reaction to them does. Winners understand this fundamental principle: energy flows where attention goes. If you spend your days fixated on what's wrong, you amplify negativity and attract more struggle. But the moment you shift your focus to solutions, you unlock a new level of personal power. Complaining is a form of self-sabotage. It trains your mind to see limitations rather than opportunities. Every time you vocalize your struggles, you reinforce them as part of your identity, making it harder to break free. The key to transformation lies in replacing complaints with action. Successful people don't waste time seeking sympathy, they channel their energy into progress. Sympathy may provide temporary comfort, but it never leads to lasting change. The world doesn't reward excuses, it rewards results. If you want a different life, you must adopt a different mindset. Stop waiting for permission or ideal conditions, start taking massive action today. Your future isn't created by what happens to you but by how you respond. A victim mindset is the single greatest obstacle to success. It convinces you that external forces control your destiny, leaving you powerless. People stuck in this mentality constantly blame their past, their environment, or other people for their lack of progress. But here's the reality: while you can't control everything that happens to you, you can always control your response. Winners refuse to see themselves as victims, they take full ownership of their lives. They don't waste energy on what they can't change, they focus relentlessly on what they can. This shift in perspective is transformative. When you stop blaming and start taking responsibility, you reclaim your power. The victim mindset thrives on validation, seeking pity or agreement from others, but this only deepens the cycle of helplessness. Leaders, on the other hand, inspire through resilience. They walk into rooms with solutions, not complaints, and as a result, people are drawn to them. The more you talk about your problems, the more you condition your brain to believe you're stuck. But when you focus on growth, you train yourself to see possibilities. Two people can face the same setback, one crumbles, the other adapts. The difference isn't luck, it's mindset. If you want to change your life, you must first change your internal narrative. Stop feeding yourself stories of limitation and start affirming your ability to overcome. Your mind is a powerful tool, but most people don't know how to use it effectively. The brain's reticular activating system, RAS, acts like a filter, highlighting what you consistently focus on. If you dwell on problems, your brain will find more evidence of struggle. But if you focus on opportunities, you will start noticing pathways you never saw before. This isn't just motivational fluff, it's neuroscience. Your emotions follow your focus. If you wake up thinking about stress, you'll feel stressed. If you start your day with gratitude and purpose, you'll feel energized. High achievers understand this principle and deliberately direct their attention toward growth. They don't let external noise dictate their mindset, they curate their mental environment with discipline. The media, social networks, and negative influences constantly compete for your focus, but you must guard it fiercely. Winners don't consume content that drains them, they seek inspiration, education, and empowerment. Your thoughts shape your emotions drive your actions, and your actions determine your results. If you want to change your life, start by auditing your focus. What are you feeding your mind daily? Are you reinforcing fear or fueling ambition? The fastest way to shift your reality is to shift what you pay attention to. Many people waste years waiting for the perfect opportunity, for someone to help them, for circumstances to magically improve. But the brutal truth is that no one is coming to save you. Success is your responsibility. The moment you accept this, you free yourself from dependency. The government won't fix your life. Your family can't hand you success. Even mentors and coaches can only guide you, they can't do the work for you. Winners know this, which is why they take relentless action. They don't wait for permission, they create their own opportunities. Excuses like, I don't have enough money, or, I don't have the right connections, just illusions. History is filled with people who started with nothing and built empires through sheer determination. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't resources, it's resourcefulness. When you stop waiting and start acting, you tap into a level of creativity and resilience you never knew you had. The most dangerous habit is procrastination disguised as planning. You don't need everything figured out to begin, you just need to begin. Progress happens in motion, not in hesitation. If you want real change, stop looking for external validation and start trusting yourself. Dreams without execution are delusions. Many people spend their lives planning, preparing, and overanalyzing, but never actually doing. Winners, on the other hand, prioritize action over perfection. They understand that momentum is more valuable than flawless strategy. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of the process. Every successful person has faced setbacks, but they didn't let those setbacks define them. Instead of complaining, they analyzed, adjusted, and moved forward. The execution mindset is about consistency, not intensity. Small, disciplined actions compound over time into extraordinary results. If you want to build a business, start today, even if it's just a single step. If you want better health, make one better choice right now. Success isn't about grand gestures, it's about daily habits. Complaining drains energy, action generates it. The more you do, the more confident you become. The more confident you become, the more you achieve. It's a self-reinforcing cycle. Stop waiting for motivation, create it through movement. Your life reflects the standards you accept. If you tolerate mediocrity, you'll receive mediocrity. If you demand excellence, you'll rise to meet it. Winners hold themselves to higher benchmarks in every area: health, finances, relationships, and mindset. They don't make excuses for poor performance, they push beyond comfort. Your environment plays a critical role in this. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you surround yourself with complainers, you'll adopt their habits. If you surround yourself with achievers, you'll elevate your game. Design your environment intentionally, seek mentors, consume empowering content, and eliminate distractions. Success isn't accidental, it's engineered. Complaining may seem like a harmless release, but in reality, it's a silent killer of potential. It's the mental and emotional equivalent of spinning your wheels in the mud, loud, messy, and going absolutely nowhere. Every time you complain about your boss, your partner, your finances, or the opportunities you never got, you're feeding a belief that you're powerless. That the world owes you something. That the solution lies outside of you. But here's the truth, nothing changes until you take ownership. The more time you spend vocalizing what's wrong, the more your brain starts identifying with the struggle. It becomes your default lens. Over time, this practice wires your mind to expect difficulty, to anticipate failure, and to see obstacles instead of openings. Complaining teaches your subconscious to look for problems, and as a result, you miss opportunities that could change your life. The real tragedy isn't that bad things happen, it's that people waste their power by narrating their pain instead of rewriting their path. Until you realize how damaging this habit is, you'll stay stuck in the very life you claim to want to escape. It's not the external situation holding you back, it's the internal repetition of the story you keep telling yourself. Living in a victim mindset is seductive. It allows you to avoid responsibility and seek validation from others who feel just as stuck. Misery loves company, and there's always someone willing to commiserate. But the truth is, every time you embrace that victim role, you surrender your power to change. You start believing that your life is at the mercy of your past, your parents, your circumstances, or fate itself. This belief system might offer emotional comfort, but it's a lie. And worse, it keeps you trapped in the exact patterns that created your problems in the first place. When you believe you have no control, you stop trying. You wait. You hope. You daydream. But you don't act. And that's when the gap between who you are and who you could become begins to grow wider by the day. If you want to rise, you must stop telling stories about how life is unfair, and start rewriting the script from a place of strength. Shift from, "Why is this happening to me?" to, "What can I learn from this, and how can I grow?" That question alone holds the power to change your future. You're not a victim unless you decide to be. Your energy flows where your attention goes, and your life follows that same path. What you choose to focus on becomes the dominant narrative in your mind. If you constantly dwell on what's wrong, what's missing, or how hard everything is, then you're training your brain to amplify negativity. That's not metaphysics, it's neuroscience. The brain has a mechanism called the reticular activating system, RAS, that filters what you notice. If you constantly affirm your struggles, your RAS will highlight more struggles. But if you shift your focus toward solutions, goals, and opportunities, your brain starts finding ways to make them real. This is how you reclaim your power. The world doesn't need more people who can describe their problems, it needs more people who can create answers. When you shift your focus from what's wrong to what's possible, you stop being reactive and start becoming creative. That shift, simple as it sounds, is the difference between staying stuck and moving forward. You become a person who moves with intention. Who builds instead of breaks down. The mind that focuses on solutions is the mind that finds freedom. Sympathy is seductive. It makes you feel seen, heard, and understood, but don't confuse that comfort with progress. People will sympathize with your pain, but that won't fix your life. Sympathy gives you permission to stay where you are. It reinforces your current reality instead of challenging you to rise above it. The truth is, no one is coming to rescue you. Not your friends. Not your family. Not society. And not some magical opportunity that just falls from the sky. The only person who can save you is you. And the moment you understand that, your entire relationship with struggle changes. Struggle no longer becomes a reason to complain, it becomes a reason to transform. You can either seek sympathy, or you can seek solutions, but you can't have both. One leads to stagnation, the other to growth. If you're serious about changing your life, you have to be willing to let go of the need to be coddled. Stop chasing comfort and start chasing challenge. That's where your strength is forged. Growth doesn't happen in the warm arms of sympathy, it happens in the furnace of adversity. Words without action are just noise. If you want to escape the cycle of complaining and victimhood, the answer is simple: take massive action. Not perfect action. Not guaranteed action. Just action. Move forward, even if it's messy. Even if it's small. Because action is the only thing that creates change. Every great transformation starts with one bold move. But the longer you wait for motivation or clarity or ideal conditions, the longer you remain stuck in the same place. You don't need more time, you need more courage. Courage to move while you're scared. Courage to act when the outcome is uncertain. Courage to be bad at something until you're great at it. That's how winners are made, not by avoiding fear or failure, but by confronting it head-on. Every step you take in the direction of your goals rewires your brain, builds confidence, and proves to you that you're capable. You are not here to talk about what you want, you're here to go after it with relentless determination. Stop looking for signs. Stop asking for permission. Start building momentum. Your life changes when you change your habits, and that begins with action. At the end of the day, it all comes down to one choice: stay the same or rise up. That choice happens every single day, in your thoughts, in your decisions, and in your reactions. The life you're living right now is the result of past choices. And the life you will live tomorrow depends entirely on what you do today. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. But you do need to commit. Commit to growth. Commit to discipline. Commit to letting go of excuses and embracing the mindset of a warrior, not a worrier. Life will not hand you your dreams on a silver platter, you have to earn them. And earning them requires sweat, sacrifice, and an unshakable belief in your ability to change. Your future isn't written in your past, it's written in your response. So stop waiting for something outside of you to shift. The power is already in your hands. Complaining won't change your circumstances, but changing your mindset will. Decide right now that you are done being passive. Done being a spectator in your own story. It's time to step into the arena, take control, and start creating the life you were meant to live. You owe it to yourself, not someday, but today.